As we do at 7:30, hot off the press, a quick look at what's happening in the front pages of just some of the newspapers today. Rochelle de Kock, Herald newspaper editor, joining us this morning. Hello to you, Rochelle. We'll talk about what's in store for the Herald in just a moment. First, Pretoria News, if we could. Their top story, ANC staff still on tenterhooks over payment of salaries. It's easy when you're in the top six to say it's a joy working for the ANC because you aren't worried about paying school fees, are you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, something that's been topical over the last few weeks, if not months, with staff that are not receiving their salaries. I think it's been, 2 months and heading to the third month where some staff have not been paid. Having to actually turn and to the streets and protest over no payment, and also the issue over the UIF. It's truly, not something that the ruling party can afford to deal with now in the run-up to the elections.
Yeah, indeed. But we understand a meeting is going to take place today with the ANC staff reps to try and get to the bottom of this. 3 months with no salary. That's the reality there, Rochelle. But moving on to the Citizen, the headline there being bullets before ballots in KZN fears that KwaZulu-Natal has become a political killing ground ahead of the local government elections, exacerbated by the fact that thousands of rounds of stolen ammunition are still unaccounted for. I wonder if this is a KwaZulu-Natal story whenever there are upcoming elections, political killings.
Absolutely. If one thinks about the 2011 and 2016 local government elections, it was, I would say, relatively more quiet in other parts of the country, although there were incidents in the Eastern Cape and Nelson Mandela Bay where we are based. But it was in KZN where we saw dozens and dozens of people, particularly between, after the 2016, leading up to the 2016 and after the 2016 elections, where they were killed. And it's mostly, ANC, intra-party political killings, or so we assume. It's absolutely, heartbreaking what's happening there in KZN, and it's always going to be, or it appears to be, a political hotbed where people are contesting for positions.
And once again, it looks like it's only going to get worse, unfortunately, as we get closer to those elections. Last story in the Citizen, Rochelle, it's the front page photo. The headline is Family Hit Case Unfolding. And we all work in news and we're not surprised by many stories, but every now and then something stands out. This photo is of Nomia Rosemary and Ndlovu at the High Court sitting in Palm Ridge yesterday, alleged to have hired hitmen to murder family members and her boyfriend in order to benefit from multiple life insurance policies. And you're a newspaper hack. You tell me, that front page photo there, is that an editorialized photo or is that just her demeanor in court? Because a picture, in this case, speaks 1,000 words.
It was an absolute spectacle. She wanted the attention of the media, which I think in itself was so chilling. Here you are, having to answer to allegations of plotting the murder of your own family, your own sister and the children, and she went out there with full intention of getting capturing the attention of the media. She made an absolute spectacle. That was definitely not editorializing. I think it was as you saw it. At one point she turned around and lifted her jersey, turning her behind towards the cameras. I've never seen such behavior, not in a long time in our industry.
Yeah, it's a great picture from Neil McCartney, by the way. I want to give the photographer credit. It's a picture from Neil McCartney in the Citizen.
And I just wonder if this will definitely affect the ruling by the judge in terms of showing remorse
court,
or not showing remorse, right, in court. Rochelle, I want to move on to the Herald and just hear from you what you're chasing this morning.
On our front page today, we've got a story, I think that has been coming on for a couple of years, actually. It's about land invasions. And, as you all would know, the political story of instability in Nelson Mandela Bay. You had one government that was enforcing the evictions of people invading land illegally. And then, like 2 years later, there was another government and they were saying, no, people should stay and let's formalize, land invasions. And now we've got a situation where the court is now, the municipalities turned to the court stepped in and it's evicting, it's ordering people to leave within 14 days. And the community, standing their ground and saying we're not going to leave because there have been mixed messages. People have invaded a section of land under power lines. a very dangerous area. And I think there was, at some stage, there was talk of it being a environmentally protected area. And, you know, with the fights between, you know, then Ethel Trollip and Mongameli Bobani, who was, you know, the late Mongameli Bobani was mayor at the time, those spilled over into the council, and very populist decisions were then taken, you know, later to allow people to stay there, and people got comfortable, and now, you know, the court is forcing them to leave. So it's quite a hot topic, and I think it's going to definitely escalate, particularly as political parties are going out canvassing for votes.
Yeah, the problem is land is always a big topic ahead of the elections, and then we forget about those who are landless after we cast the votes, don't we? What a pleasure. Rochelle de Kock, the Herald News Editor. Big story for them on the front page of the Herald this morning. Now, we spoke